So we did a lot of interviews the last couple days. Really excited to let you know that Grace has won the Den of Geek Award for the best accent work at South by Southwest 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
I would like to take this opportunity to thank my team for supporting me in my bad accent. They never made me feel like I was stupid, and they were laughing at my jokes, so I'm honored to accept this award.
Well, I am so excited to be joined by the creatives and cast of Dead Lover. This project is wildly original, unexpected in the best possible way. We loved screening it. Tell us a little bit about where this idea came from.
Yeah, so it came from just a desire to make a comedy with my friends. And we started just by building the story just by talking to each other. So I worked with my friend that's a psychotherapist, Ben, and another two filmmakers, where we just sort of assembled a weird version of like a comedy writer's room and just spitballed and world built ideas and concepts and jokes and stuff together. So that's sort of where the story is. You saw it came from. It was inspired by those world-building conversations with my pals.
When Grace calls, do you guys just go, yes, we're in. We're along for this ride. We don't know what's going to happen, but we're in.
I did.
Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Why would you say no? Yeah, I was brought in as not an actor. I was brought in as a sort of a theater kid to help like make it theatery, and then wound up in it.
Awesome. Well, that's like one of the most exciting parts about this. So if I got this correctly, you shot this on 16 millimeter. Wasn't monitors around, so you guys were kind of shooting this like play. Talk a little bit about what that experience was like, because that's pretty unique.
Well, controversially, I decided to not have a monitor. So we shot, we were flying blind. And the idea was kind of to honor a more theatrical process where you can't micromanage a playback and stuff. So I just like encouraged the department heads and the actors to like trust their guts, trust their body, communicate with each other. And I would do the same thing, like, cause I was playing the Gravedigger, I'd just like call at my DP and be like, does it look okay? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. And same with the production designer, would just be like, is this in the frame? Like, we just had to talk to each other. So that was really cool, and I think forced us to be spontaneous and to trust ourselves in a way where if I would have had a monitor, I think it would have slowed us down and put us in our heads a bit.
I tend to get really neurotic about my own performances and probably would have wanted to review the material and micromanage it and pick it apart. So it was freeing having no ability to look back, just to move forward and trust the people behind the camera.
So we did a lot of interviews the last couple days. Really excited to let you know that Grace has won the Den of Geek Award for the best accent work at South by Southwest 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you
I would like to take this opportunity to thank my team for supporting me in my bad accent. They never made me feel like I was stupid, and they were laughing at my jokes, so I'm honored to accept this award.
Did it take a few tries to kind of get that one right?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, we were actually in the rehearsal hall. Lowen probably remembers this moment, but I remember just stumbling with my character and not really knowing how she was supposed to sound. And then I tried a Cockney accent, which I don't know how to do, as kind of a joke. And then something about it made sense to me. And I was like, guys, like I think I have to do this accent in the movie. And our friend Carrie, who was also helping us do movement direction in the dance studio, she was like, dude, you can't. It's such a bad accent. It makes no sense that this would exist in the world. And I kept just being like, no, I think I'm going to do it. And then it, I think, inspired me to gift the other actors with bad accents. So I was like, okay, let's try a Bavarian accent. Let's try a posh accent. Leah, I think, felt comfortable enough to be like, I want to do a patois accent. So we kind of embraced this bad accent situation. I love a bad accent in a movie. I think it's so fun and funny. And as an actor, they're so enjoyable to do. even when they're bad. So we tried to really not shame accents in this movie.
She really did start dealing them out fast and loose too. Like I think I got assigned my Bavarian accent about 3 days before we were going to shoot that character, and that would be a nightmare. Normally, I was worried about like I don't know if I can do it, but Grace's whole ethos was like accuracy is not the target here. Fun is the target here.
Yeah, we kept saying on set, like, continuity is for losers. And, like, I think that extended to also, like, how we were thinking of our performances. Like, the cracks are cool, the imperfections are cool.
When I saw the logline for this and kind of first jumped into it, like, I think it's just so exciting to see something like leaning into, like, kind of the horror genre space, but obviously, like, some of the kind of stage production elements you guys were talking about. Just curious for you guys, like, does that kind of embody what like you guys like to see when you come to a film festival like this or Sundance, like people taking those risks, and it seems like you guys kind of pulled that off?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the time, I mean, you hear independent film, and actually I remember being young and getting into movies and seeing there was like a program on some streaming service for independent film. And I turned on the movies and I was like, this does not really seem like independent film, because that really just means independently financed, but all too rarely does it mean independent of mind and independent of vision. And so to see films that are really independent in that way, coursing their own path in the creative vision, that's what it's all about, I think.
What do you hope audiences take away from the love story?
Well, it was important to me kind of to make it less about their actual love and more about this woman's weird copes inside of their relationship. So I hope they take away that from watching her kind of have this tragic end because of her character flaw. I hope they take away, like, if you love someone, don't hold them too tightly. Don't grip them too hard. Freedom, like giving your romantic partner freedom is actually the way often to keep them with you, not holding them down and clamping them down. So if you love it, let it go is kind of like the soft moral of the movie.
I know some of your previous work has tapped into relationships between two people. Why does that feel like really exciting territory for you two to explore on screen, and then for Leah and Lowen, same for you guys to kind of play in that space these two have created and now brought into this project? Why is that exciting?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just been a kind of natural compulsion. I mean, our relationships are explored very differently in each of our work, I would say. But for me, it's that Grace is a huge part of my life. I write from what I know, from what fascinates me. Relationship movies are my favorite kind of movies. I don't know, just a compulsion I continue to be drawn to.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think, I think I was attracted to this piece just because it came from Grace's mind. And we both come from the same place in Canada. We both come from Alberta and have talked a lot about feeling like outsiders in the spaces that we grew up in, and feeling like non-normative in our behavior, or, in the environments that we grew up in. And so I just think I felt an invitation from her to explore weirdness, like as an actual like ethos, and not just as a quirky thing. But why not make a film that is extreme and is grotesque, and where that overlaps with relationships? I mean, it's really nice to see a story about a relationship that's not a kind of Hollywood that's not a sort of washed with a kind of perfectionism. And this is very, very opposite of that. And so I never thought about it in terms of relationship, but I thought about it in terms of being able to do something really raw and weird.
Yeah, I think that the core of the story is, like you were saying, like the love story that these two have. And it's interesting because you were saying a lot of your films kind of are that. And we were the two little Grems that kind of busted our way into this relationship
Join
dynamic.
us.
Hi. But I think, the film's full of relationships. And I think that like how one deals with love and loss is a theme, and my character got to explore that as well. I play, 5 or 6 characters, but the main guy that I play, and the plot is motivated by the characters' love for each other, and then betrayal and death. And so, like, my whole character's plot is about. My character's name is Widower. He's in mourning because his wife died, and I think that, like, this character gives him a reason to both, like, get out of his opioid blurry world, as well as gives him an opportunity to like, have life again. Like, that revenge gives him life, but then he sees literal, like, Frankenstein life again, and I think that it just. The whole film is pushed forward by those dynamics, and yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I think we're out of time, but we could have talked about this one for much longer. Best of luck with the film, and appreciate you guys coming to Den of Geek.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.